What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Happy Thursday to you. It's been a while since I did a video, maybe a week, but what I said in the last video is, and the last few videos actually, is holding steady as it relates to Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. I'll go over stocks and the traditional markets later after we talk about Bitcoin, but looking at Bitcoin, I mean, this drop shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody. As a matter of fact, if you check the alerts on the Discord, you know, all the way back in November 14th, and even before that, if you look some of my older videos, I was saying that it looks like Bitcoin was still in this long descending channel, and that there were a lot of indicators that were pointing to it falling all the way down to 7,300 potentially. And obviously there's the death cross that we see between the 50 and the 200. Some people were saying that, oh, it doesn't count if, you know, the 200 is rising and the 50 is falling. Yeah, I'm not sure where they got that. I'm sure that there was some video that propagated that idea, and then it became, you know, canon in the crypto world. But then you also have the mini death cross between between the 100 and the 200 MAs, as you see here. The volume obviously is very telling. If you look at the volume here in the VFI, we're still very much in the negative. And the VFI, in summary, attempts to predict the flow of volume, whether it's inward or outward, i.e. positive or negative. And in this case, if you're at a reading below zero and you're trending downwards, then the volume flow is very much negative for Bitcoin. And the last time we did that is when we crashed, you know, at the end of 2018 from 6,600 or so all the way down to 3,200. So, you know, all of those factors, the fact that we're still in a trend, remember, trend is your friend until the end. So the fact that we're still in this trend and it hasn't been broken, all of those factors pointed to the most plausible direction being down. Obviously, we're not fortune tellers, but you are trying to determine what's the most plausible direction and what is the most likely support and resistance values for you to set your trades around. So, you know, for those that wanted to engage in more riskier trades, I was saying that if we fall below the 50 MA and, you know, we have trouble with a few candles climbing above it, as we have here. If I zoom into this, you'll see here that for 2 or 3 candles, the 50 MA was definitely resistance. Then you can easily short here with a tight stop limit above the 50 MA, and that would be an optimal move. And that is a short that I definitely took as well. So, you know, for all of those reasons. Oh, and the other thing, speaking of shorts, if you look at shorts, I'll just pull it up here. And you'll see real quick that shorts are also a big factor in determining, you know, whether there's a possibility for a short squeeze or not, right? So when shorts are at a low, and you could see here that shorts are at a low, then the possibility for a short squeeze becomes, you know, it becomes very unlikely that you will have a short squeeze because there aren't enough shorts in order to trigger a short squeeze. So that it also factors into the low risk play of actually shorting Bitcoin at resistance levels here, because you're not afraid of that short squeeze, right? So hopefully we do start to see shorts rising, and that would allow us to leverage a potential short squeeze into a potential future rally. But, you know, I was saying that 7,300 was the support for a few reasons. One, obviously, it's historical support. That's where we fell to last time at the end of October, the last week of October. But also, if you take a look at the weekly chart, you'll see that 7,300 is just below the 100 weekly moving average, right? But it's at the 1 fib level here from the weekly candle that we saw back at the end of September. So, and also the candle, you know, in that third week of October. So that's why 7,300 currently is the 1 fib level on the weekly. Now, obviously, what could happen is if we continue this downward momentum, we could hit the support of this descending channel here on the daily, which would take us to below 7,000. So somewhere around 6,700 before hopefully popping back up and finally breaking this descending channel, right? Because most descending channels break to the upside eventually. And same thing on the weekly. I mean, this corroborates this, you know, The weekly is currently using the 100 moving average as support. This yellow moving average that you see here, it's currently sitting right above it. But if we fall below that, then the 50-week moving average, which is at around 7,000 or 7,100, is a likely support level as well in the future. But momentum is a very hard thing to predict, downward momentum as well as upward momentum, right? If we get major sell-offs because of a lack of confidence, then we could certainly hit those lower support levels. But for now, you don't have to act hyperbolically, and you don't have to try and catch a falling knife, right? From a trading perspective, trying to catch a falling knife, you're going to lose 9 times out of 10. So your best bet is to buy at the identifiable dips and try to average out your buying price at those identifiable support levels. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that in the long term, Bitcoin will be fine. And as a matter of fact, this could be, one of the last few opportunities to get some really cheap Bitcoin before the halving in 2020 and beyond. So I'm currently out of my short in Bitcoin, and for the signals on when I will potentially enter a leverage trade or at what point I'm dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin for the long term, sign up if you want access to the trade alerts. It's all in there. I'll go over one more coin before we jump into the traditional markets. Let's look at Litecoin. If you look at Litecoin, there is an identifiable support level here at around $50. That's almost the same spot where we bought last time before this rally that took us to about $66. So, Litecoin, I think at this level is a very safe purchase. Of course, with the market tanking like this, there aren't many swing trade opportunities. So what you're doing here is really buying for the midterm, right? So even if you buy Litecoin at $50, you might have to hold it for a few weeks before seeing any sort of fruit that coming out of that trade. So you really have to be malleable, especially with regards to crypto, in terms of how your strategy is focused, whether you're swing trading or whether you're long-term investing. A lot of that is dictated by what the market is currently doing. So if you're purely a swing trader, there aren't many trades. The market is definitely not a swing trade market currently, right? When the market is tanking like this, you're either buying cheaply for the long term, you're buying what people are panic selling, or for the most part, you're just out of the market waiting for the market to stabilize. So you really have to be malleable in that standpoint, right? Looking at the traditional markets, so the traditional markets relatively flat today, about 0.2% drop on the Dow, relatively unchanged on the S&P, Nasdaq about 0.25% down. There is definitely some fear with regards to the China-US trade talks, a lot of pessimism being thrown around. So we're seeing that reflected in the market as everyone is holding their breath to see what comes out of that. One area that absolutely killed it today is marijuana stocks, and that's because of this news story that there was a House vote that was voted on today in favor of a bill that would lift the federal ban on marijuana. So obviously marijuana stocks soared through the roof. Here, there's a marijuana ETF that is aptly named MJ, but it's up 8% today. We bought the dip on ACB, which is insane because it's up about 42% in the last 3 days. You see the 3 white soldiers here, or 3 green soldiers as they're called in trading. This is a very bullish signal here. But yeah, 42% in 3 days. I mean, this is more like a crypto. 2019 has definitely been the year of the stock market. I mean, we made a killing on stocks in 2019. If you take a look at our stock portfolio in the trade alerts. If you take a look at, that's ACB. Let's take a look at Ameritrade. Ameritrade is up 48% since we scaled in after it tanked at the last week of September. It tanked, and this was really an irrational price drop here. This was on the news that Charles Schwab had offered zero fee trading, right? No fees on their trading. And the next day, TD Ameritrade announced the same thing in order to stay competitive. And so, because its fundamentals are really solid, and this price drop did seem irrational, and the fact that they remedied it quickly by offering zero fee trading, we bought the dip on TD Ameritrade. I sent that out in the trade alerts, and now we're up 48%. Of course, there was a huge jump today by 20% on rumors that, or it's actually more than rumors, it's actually news that TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab are looking at a merger. They're in talks to merge. So, this shot up through the roof. Christmas came early, definitely for those that are holding TD Ameritrade stock. Disney forming a bull flag after it launched its Disney streaming service last week, successfully signed up more than 10 million subscribers. It saw a little bit of a retracement after being overbought, but it is now forming a bull flag, which is definitely a bullish pattern. And I think Disney will continue to make new highs as it onboards more and more people onto its Disney Plus platform. WWE, we bought the dip on WWE after it dipped on the last day of October, and now it is up around 7 or 8%. So those are just some of our trades in the stock market, traditional markets. If you want access to those, link is in the description. You get access to the crypto and stock trade alerts, as well as my portfolio, what cryptos I'm currently holding, what stocks I'm currently holding. You get access to that. And we do regular calls with the trading group, with the Diamond Trading Group, where we discuss strategies, entries, holdings, etc. So sign up if you want access to that. And also on the first of every month, I do a 0.03 Bitcoin drawing that I give to a random diamond and above trader. That's just as a way to say thank you for being a part of the group. And I definitely enjoy running this group, being able to discuss trade all day, every day. I mean, I don't know, call me sick, but it's fun for me. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Leave a comment if you have a question or a comment. Hit that thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. If you want to take your trading to the next level and need one-on-one training for technical analysis, trading strategy, etc., I'm taking new applicants in December. I usually limit it to 5 to 10 per month. So if you want, hit me up. Spots fill up really quick. Same link in the description. Hit that subscribe button. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.